D-Stacks beat?
Yeah, I got a D-Stacks beat. Listen to the beat, y'all. Come on, D-Stacks, bring it in. Hey, 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 hey. Woo! Queens on a roll. Ooh, queens on a roll. Powerful queens on a roll. Beautiful queens, queens, queens on a roll. We're moving, we're grooving, we're jamming, we're slamming. Queens on a roll. We're moving, we're grooving, we're jamming, we're slamming. Queens, queens, queens on a roll. She's educated and inspiring everyone that has challenges. Queens, queens, queens on a roll. She's educated and inspiring everyone and having fun. She's queens on a roll. Woo, queens on a roll. Ooh, queen on a roll. Powerful queens on a roll. Beautiful queens on a roll. Come roll with us. Ooh, come roll with us. Come roll with us. Ooh, come roll with us. Ooh, queen on a roll. Ooh, queen on a roll. Ooh, queen.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Queens on the Roll. This is your Queen on the Roll, Latavia, and today I have my sister Dina here with me today.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Fantastic.
So today, since I've been away for a year, I cannot believe I have been away for a year, guys. I brought Dina on with me so that we could reflect over this past year because 2026 is coming in. Woohoo! Yes. Before we get into today's episode,
It's time for roll call.
I want to say thank you to Miss Shantae Usman for always supporting Queens on the Roll, even though it's been on a long hiatus. I thank you so much for your support and your continued support. So thank you very much. All right, let's roll.
You got a D-Stacks beat?
So let's reflect on this past year. Dina, you want to start us off?
Yeah, 2025 has been a busy year. I mean, I like to say for myself, but it's been hard getting a hold of you. So what's something from the past year that you are proud of?
So you guys know that I was doing advocacy work beforehand. That's why I took a long break from the podcast previously, because I was doing a lot of advocacy work around Medicaid parity. And if you don't remember, just go back to my episode that was like 1980s and 2025 prices episode. But it was about Medicaid not having enough reimbursement for durable medical equipment industry. And so I was doing a lot of advocacy work around there, trying to get the bill that we had had and our state legislator passed. And when I realized the old school way of like going to your legislators and saying, we need this bill passed, and they're saying, well, you're not a constituent of mine, so I don't necessarily need to sit down with you. I then decided to go out for Miss Wheelchair New York State 2025.
Can I get a hand clap?
Yes, you can. And I won for our state title. So after you win for the state title, you got to apply for the national competition, which is in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And so it was 19 women, including myself, was in the 19. And we went on to nationals in Grand Rapids. And I became the first Miss Wheelchair America 2026 in New York. So it's been a busy year. Yeah, it's been a busy year, but also fun. So I get to take my platform nationally now. So that's what I've been doing while I was away.
So it sounds like you've accomplished a lot of goals. Can you tell us one thing?
One thing that I accomplished this year, let's see, is passing the Medicaid parity bill through the Senate and the Assembly. And I have a lot, so I would also say winning Miss Wheelchair America, because I got to break that glass ceiling for New York and bring it home.
Very good. And so was that a scary process for you?
It wasn't scary because I was already doing the work prior. Everything kind of fell in motion for me, and I believe in God. So God set that timing just right for me, right? And so I was already equipped with the skills that you needed. So it wasn't scary. Was it nerve-wracking? Yeah, it was. There was one point in the competition I was like, oh, I don't think I'm bringing this home after the second interview.
So when people think about pageants, what type of a pageant was it exactly?
So, Miss Wheelchair America is an organization that has been around for 54 years. It highlights empowering women in wheelchairs that do advocacy.
Many will say that this year has been a tough year trying to figure out how to get a lot of things done, perhaps for some. Can you tell me what are some struggles that you have had to face this year?
I would say one of my struggles is getting people to support my fundraising efforts for my reign, Miss Wheelchair America reign. I would say that's a struggle because of the times we're living in now. And so for me, it's hard to even ask people like, hey, can you donate a few bucks so that I could spread my advocacy around the 50 states, just because I know there is struggles. And then on top of that, asking people to give is just not something that's feasible.
So a popular word that I'm hearing is affordability.
Yeah.
So do you think that it's just been hard for people to be a little more generous because of that problem?
Absolutely.
So on the flip side, how did you handle things really well this year?
Oh, I would say I have become a great multitasker, okay? So I have become a great multitasker and just learning how to use every little bit of minutes that I do have to check something off my list of to-dos, and then finding time. Even if it's 5 minutes, just take 5 minutes to relax.
Yeah, you're like the Energizer Buddy. I laugh all the time with my sister about it. What lessons did you learn this past year?
I learned that I am way more passionate about advocacy than I thought I would ever be. And I would say that because I've been advocating my whole life, but when you look at it, sometimes when you're young, you look at it from a lens of like, I'm just advocating for things that I need. You don't realize the impact that has for other people. So I would say the biggest lesson I learned is that what I'm doing is going to leave a greater impact on people's lives and hopefully make that difference, because that's what I'm doing it for years to come.
So you expanded your scope. Did anything surprise you about how people received you?
I would say yes and no. I would say yes in terms of I didn't realize how much people really do admire like Miss Wheelchair America. I didn't realize how much I was going to really take this title on and really want to make a difference and make sure that whatever I'm doing is leaving a legacy behind. And it's not just a reign, it's a lasting thing that continues beyond my reign.
Would you say that that's an epiphany that you had?
Yeah, I would say that's my aha moment, but I also think my aha moment, like I said before, was just how much that I'm passionate about advocacy and really want to see change for everyone on a lasting scale. That really is a systemic change, not just superficial and on the surface. And we say inclusion, but we don't really show it in the systems that we're in. So for me, that was my epiphany.
So, what's your favorite standout memory?
Oh, I would hands down have to say the crowning ceremony when I won. If you watch it back, you will see that I didn't realize I won initially. Honestly, that whole week is going to be something that I'm going to cherish forever, and it's going to be a lifelong lasting memory.
As we close out the year 2025 and start a new year, what is one word that you would use moving forward?
Into 2026,
Absolutely.
I would say I am hopeful
One word.
or maybe excited.
Okay.
You got a D-Stacks beat? D-Stacks beat? D-Stacks beat?
All right, so if you thought you were skating away with no
I was
interview
definitely
questions-
going to try.
Oh, that wasn't happening. We are now flipping the script. It is your turn.
Flip the script.
Okay, so what is one thing from this past year that you have learned or taken away?
Well, this year I started 2 new jobs and became a full-time student working on another undergrad degree. And I would say that it's been challenging, but doable.
Okay, you said challenging. What made it challenging?
That was a polite way of saying stressful.
What made it challenging or stressful?
So I last was in college in 2001 is when I graduated with a social work degree, and returning back after so many years, starting in a field that I was not familiar with, learning new things, learning how to go from in-person classes to online classes was very different and new for me.
Okay, so if people don't know, Dina's going to school for speech language pathology. Let's give it up for her. And that is my field, so I'm super excited. What's one thing you learned about speech language pathology that you didn't quite know before going into it?
So everything that I thought I knew had to go in a trash when I started school. And one incredible thing is that I did not know that hearing was interconnected with speech. And so just learning all the different parts and how everything is important and plays a role, that's been fascinating for me.
Ooh, I'm super excited for you. Now you get to see why I love it so much, so I'm excited for you. What's one goal you accomplished this past year?
Well, when I went to school previously, I had a lot of fun and I was not really that much concerned with grades, just passing and graduating. But I mean, working hard and maintaining a very high GPA, I think I'm at like 3.5. That was important because I never knew I could do that.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, 3.5. Woo woo. That's good. What was something you were scared of this past year?
So because it was a lot of new things that I started this year, everything was scary. So once you move beyond, the first step of actually starting and you just work through it, it became easier and I adapted well to everything. And so, anyone that started a new job, it's like, okay, there's a lot of things you have to figure out about the job and then you have to execute and do the best that you can at the job. But I think that I did very well.
Okay. You said everything was new for you. So how did you get over the nervousness or feeling of being scared for everything being new and just decided that, hey, I'm going to dive in and I'm going to do it anyway? What was the catalyst or the start of saying, I'm going to get over that fear of newness and just jump right into it?
Sometimes you need someone to push you forward because you're hesitant to make steps. I would say you definitely encourage me in the right direction, but also also, it's a good idea to ask questions if you are not sure how to do something. And I normally am in a little shell and I don't break outside of that shell. But I think this year I opened up a little bit more, asked for help, guidance, and received it.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Going with the theme of like asking for help, do you think that was your greatest challenge this past year, or something else was your greatest challenge?
I would say that is a great challenge for me because I usually do not ask for help. I will just try to figure things out on my own. But you will find that people are usually very generous if you do make a step in that direction.
So how did you let your guard down and say, hey, you know what? I got to relent and I have to just ask for help?
Oh, I wasn't trying to fail no classes and I need a job. So I wasn't trying to get fired. That's enough motivation.
That would be a great motivator for anybody. So I would say that's a great start. How did you handle everything this past year?
So I learned how to take deep breaths. Sometimes everything, especially with how the world has changed a lot this year, I'm not going to get political, but that has had a huge effect on life in general. And just taking a deep breath, pacing myself, and getting a lot of rest.
Those are some good self-care tips. So I'll clap it up for that one. That's some good self-care tips. So what is something that made you feel successful?
So first of all, doing well in school, getting A's. I got maybe 1 or 2 C's here and there, but it's okay. What that did is it taught me that I need to approach studying differently. I might have to go to tutoring, or I might have to do study groups with classmates and connect on that level. So it just helped me to do things differently to figure out how to succeed.
So is that something you would say was one of your lessons you learned?
That was definitely a lesson.
What was another one?
So that even if you're experiencing some stresses or fears, just persevere and, take one step at a time and just keep going.
I would say that is a good lesson to learn. So what was an epiphany this past year, or your aha moment?
Really, going back to school later in life or when you're older, you can do it. And I didn't know if I could do well in speech language pathology, but I'm actually doing quite well.
Yes, and I'm super proud of you. So on that note, what is your favorite standout memory or moment from this past year?
Wow, there has been so many things that occurred. We're at the end of the year. But I would say, so this year I actually was inspired by you, and I did a Juneteenth celebration. I've been trying really hard to just get out. Like when you invite me to something to go out, usually I don't like to go out. So I've had a lot of breakthrough moments throughout the year, receiving, A's in school. So I'm very proud of that.
Wow, you should be. You should be. So you feel like you got out of your comfort zone, tried out new things.
I'm still in that comfort zone, but I'm willing to take more risk and try things that I wouldn't do.
What are you hoping for in 2026?
I am really hoping to wrap up the undergrad portion of the speech language pathology and begin the master's program.
She's going for her master's. So you heard it here first. She's going to go for her master's. All right, so we do have a rapid fire question section. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
I'm going to put you on a hot seat.
You're going to put me in the hot seat? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay.
Are you ready?
Not really, but let's go.
One word to describe this year. One word.
Exhilarating.
Favorite moment from this year.
Crowning night.
Something you're grateful for.
I would say something I'm grateful for is my family and friends.
Favorite song of the year.
Ooh, that's hard. There were so many good ones. Bodega Batty by Cardi B.
One thing you're proud of.
My advocacy work.
One thing you're leaving behind.
Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, I am leaving behind this chair in 2025. I'm getting a new one.
Very good.
Coming in 2026. So I'm leaving this chair behind.
One boundary you're keeping.
Saying no, which was really difficult for me this year because I always want to help people, but I had to learn to say no. I needed to realize that taking time for myself and resting was also being helpful to people, because if I'm not good and I'm exhausted, then I can't be the best Latavia that I could be. So saying no, I am keeping that.
One thing you're excited about.
Ooh, I really can't answer this question because I have so many new things on the horizon and I'm excited for you guys to see them all. So I'm keeping it a secret, but just continue to watch my reign. You will hear from me a little bit more in 2026. I promise I will try to get more consistent with these episodes because I know that you guys miss them and I miss doing them as well. So
Finally, one thing you're giving yourself permission to do.
have fun and enjoy life, bro.
I knew you were going to say that.
All right, it is your turn.
Okay.
One word to describe this year.
Long.
You took too long for that.
It was a long year. It was a long year.
Favorite moment from this year?
My favorite moment this year was starting school. A lot of emotions, but I was excited.
Something you're grateful for?
I'm grateful for the village. You know, it takes a village. That's family, friends, whatever resources that's available to you.
Favorite song of the year?
Gonna be golden. Something golden.
Are you serious? From the K-pop song?
Absolutely.
One thing you're proud of?
With everything that goes on in life, it's easy to be easily distracted, but I'm glad I was able to stay focused and stay on task.
Absolutely. One boundary you're keeping?
Well, you said saying no, but I always say no. Maybe I can do a flip version and probably say yes a little bit more.
Okay. You need to watch that Netflix movie.
Which one?
Yes Day or something like that with Jennifer Garner.
Okay, I'll give it a look.
One word for the new year.
Happy.
One thing you're excited about.
Oh, I'm excited about completing school. So I'm getting closer to where I need to be, and I'll be able to wrap it up pretty soon.
One thing you're giving yourself permission to do.
Okay, I was very strict about the amount of salt and sugar and drinking more water, but I'm giving myself permission to eat some more snacks this coming year in moderation.
Oh, so you're taking the everything in moderation stance.
You got a D-Stacks beat? You got a D-Stacks beat? You got a D-Stacks beat?
So you know, I usually end my episodes with a quote of the episode, but I decided that I'm going to leave this up to Dina to figure out what we're doing.
Well, I was thinking, I know that you write poetry. Do you have anything that you can share for these times?
I do. It's a poem called Mirror Mirror. So here we go. Mirror Mirror on the wall. When you see your reflection, are you someone who will help the need, or are you all about the greed? Mirror, mirror on the wall. When you see your reflection, will you pick your brother or sister up when they fall, or beat them down in the ground so you can stand tall? Mirror, mirror on the wall. When you see your reflection, are you nasty, grimy, and mean, and do things unseen? Or are you kind, loving, and forgiving? Mirror, mirror on the wall. When you see your reflection, are you a liar, backstabber, or have hate in your heart for others? Or do you love your fellow man? Mirror, mirror on the wall. When you see your reflection, will you answer the call to be a better person today than yesterday? Let's remember that we all have mirrors. What do you see when you look in yours?
That is beautiful.
Thank you. I thought it was only right to share it because we are reflecting on our past year, right? And every year we try to be a better person than we were in our past year. So let's just take that into 2026, right? Be better.
Excellent.
All right, everyone. And on that note, we are rolling out. And as always, you can always listen to Queens on the Road podcast on Apple, Spotify, anywhere you listen to podcasts. And you can always follow me at queensontheroad.podcast on Instagram, TikTok. And if you want to email me, you can always email me at queensontheroad.podcast@gmail.com. And please consider going to support my Patreon account. I thank you all for your support. I know I've been away for a while, but I still appreciate that you want to hear episodes from me and Queens on the Road. And I hope you have a great, prosperous, and blessed new year.
And I just want to say thanks for having me today.
Oh, you are so welcome as always. See you guys soon.
Bye-bye.